podcast. I'm Diane.
And I'm Edith, and you can find us on Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, and our website.
Alldyedup.ca.
Alldyedup.ca for anybody new. Thank you for stopping by. For anyone returning, thank you so much. And we're sisters from Ontario, Canada, and we knit and we dye yarn and we like to do crafty things. We don't talk about them much, but anyway, here we are. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm better now.
Yeah, you were really sick.
Frig. For about 10 days of really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the flu, I guess.
Well, and you woke up like on a Sunday morning sick as a dog.
Sick. I went from walking around and fine and busy and to just flat.
Yeah.
Like down. I was in bed for what? 5-6 days?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were really sick.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
At one point I called Edith and said, she knew I was sick and we were talking a few things and I said to her, oh my God, like my throat was so sore. I couldn't even swallow my own spit. Like it was sore. And I thought, sure as heck, I've got strep throat. So I made a doctor's appointment. I thought, well, you're sick. It's not going to hurt to go down anyway. So I went to the doctor and she swabbed my throat. She gave me antibiotics and she said, like, Diane, I'm really sure you have a virus, but I'll give you antibiotics anyway to hope, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. So anyway, I called Edith and I told her that, like, my stomach was so upset. Like, I couldn't walk across the living room into the hall to the bathroom without throwing up. Like, I literally had the bowl. I said to Edith, I got these freaking pills, maybe like. So he says, well, what are they called? So I told her the name of the pills, and she types them in Google.
I Googled them.
And
big surprise, anybody knows me. I Google lots of things.
So I said to her, I said, I'm so sick. I said, all I lack is that stinky Twinkie. I said, at least it's not sick down there. Like, Edith says, well, number one side effect on these pills, she says, is an upset stomach, nausea, vomiting. She says, I forget what number 2 was. Number 3 says, brownish discharge from the vagina. I said, Edith, are you kidding me? Being this sick and they gave you pills that makes that happen? I said, that's just enough to make a throat punch somebody, isn't it? She says, well, number 4 is a rash. She says, just think, you could have like all that to have and have a rash on your face. I said, are you kidding me? The week I'm having, I'll have it on my ass.
Yeah, so she was sick, but she was sick enough that she still had this sense of humor that she has. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sick in every orifice.
Yeah, you were.
Oh.
Quite sick. Yeah.
So, and then we had busy set in.
Yeah, we've been, life, everyone's life.
And then she got the cold.
Now I have a cold. I don't have
She's better than she's been the last few days.
It's not what you had at all.
No,
well,
I think it's a different virus.
After the description you just gave me.
I think it's a different virus.
Yeah, I have an old-fashioned cold, and yeah.
Your throat still sounds.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we'll get through it. And yeah.
I think I had that nice little flu virus.
I said, I don't know the name of all the flus, like the SARS and the bird flu and the whatever's the
the bird flu.
Well,
I'm glad I didn't get the bird flu.
Oh, you know what I mean. They were the things that were in the news all the past 10 years. And I don't know what the current one is, but I think you might have caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, we're fine.
We're better now.
Yeah.
And then
we've had a lot of fun though.
Oh yeah, like we've been busy, but we've been traveling and
yeah, we went on a road trip.
It was a big road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We went. We left on Friday last weekend between flu bugs, and
Yeah.
we
We just
traveled up number 2
we just
highway.
need to spread the love.
Yeah, really. It's where I caught the love, I'm sure. Oh, one of those places. We went up number. We'll get into that now. Yeah, we went up number 2 highway, and I had Googled. Like I said, I like to Google things. I Googled yarn, wool, any type of descriptor like that, and it came up with a list of yarn woolly places. So we left in the morning, and we stopped in different spots all the way up to Toronto, and we stayed overnight at my son's, and then we went to the Knitters Frolic on Saturday. And after the Knitters Frolic, we went to the ball game. We got free T-shirts.
Got free T-shirts.
Yeah, so it was fun. And then Sunday we went to, we visited another yarn shop, and we headed home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a great weekend. Lots of fun. Lots of neat things. We met some
laughs.
Well,
Met
we
some
met-
cool people.
Yeah, we met some really fun gals at the ball game.
So they were Carrie, Terry Lynn, and Amanda.
And Amanda. Yeah. I'm sure they'll never ever know that we're on here.
but hey.
Yeah, they were a lot. Hello, Tux. Yeah, this is my dog. Hello.
Hi, baby.
Say hi to everybody. Yeah, yep. Thank you. Sit down. Sit down. Get down. Get away. Excuse me. So, yeah. So where do we start?
Well,
We're 6 minutes in, and all we talked about is flu
I
and other things.
know this is. So some of the yarn shops we were at.
Okay, I have.
You got the route. I don't remember the route.
Excuse
We
me.
literally did 9 yarn shops between
Yeah, so
9
I
o'clock
just
in the
put it
morning
all
and
on a
7 at night.
piece of paper because Diane, she drives. She doesn't mind driving, and I navigate.
Yeah.
So, there are some in Belleville and Trenton, but we can do those on our own just from our house. So we didn't start until a little farther out. So we started in Brighton, and we went to the Robin's Nest, and this was a yarn shop on Main Street, and it's a yarn and quilts and embroidery and all that sort of stuff at the moment. But she's actually she's moving from that store to her house, and it'll all be on it'll be online where her house is and everything. And before I forget, the hours for the store in her house are to be announced. But and what she's not taking everything with her, Diane. Do you remember what she's taking the yarn with her?
I don't know if she's taking the quilting fabric or not.
I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure.
some of it's not going.
Mhm.
Right. And yeah, so a lovely store. It's Robbins, the Robin's Nest. Of course I'd recommend all of them, but if you're in the Brighton area, look her up.
That's where I bought my basket.
Yeah, do you want to show your basket? She
I've got
had some
goodies in
things
my
she
basket,
wasn't
but
taking.
anyway.
Yeah, some things for sale that weren't really knitting related or quilting related.
I
that
think she
was-
probably had displayed stuff in it at one time, but
Yeah, and she was.
yeah, she's selling the basket stuff, so
She's-
I grabbed that one. Has a nice handle on
It's
it.
a beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing we went to was in Colburn, and it's an alpaca farm.
Oh,
At the old mill alpacas, and it was a lot. It was really cool to see the alpacas, and the young gal. I say young gal, but anyway, the girl that waited on us or that helped us, she was really friendly and full of great information. And anyway, so they're having an old mill alpacas, and the Odd Jobs couple bring you shears to shears. So on May 26th and 27th, come out and see the animals, witness shearing, learn about the mill process, visit our store, and more. During this event, our shearers will be turning the shears on themselves. Our shearers, will be turning the shears on themselves and donating their hair to Angel Hair for Kids. The actual Shears to Shearer event will take place at 1, but feel free to come beforehand and learn all about the awesome alpaca and their fleece. It's 13854 County Road 2, Colburn, Ontario. So there's an event they're having, and yeah, just so you know. And So at the alpaca farm, the old mill alpacas, I bought this. I put it in the bag to keep it from getting all picky. I bought this. It is some Lopi, and it's yeah, it's there. So it's so soft. And at the time you and I were talking, we said like maybe a hat or maybe like big
nice
mitts
big
or something.
towel.
So since I wasn't feeling well, on my my daughter bought a pillow, but she really just wanted the form. She got a pillow in the sale rack, and she really just wanted the form. So she gave me the cover, and it's a knitted cover. It looks knitted on the front, and it's soft and squishy, but it just doesn't match your room. So I was looking at this when I wasn't feeling good, and I was kind of like, oh, hey, pillow cover to go with that other one, and like I could use it all year round. Where if I knit a hat or mitts, I don't get to feel all this soft squishiness in the summer. So maybe it'll be a pillow cover. I don't know. Put on my bed. Anyway, I bought that. It's 100% alpaca Lopi. Hand wash, cold, lay flat to dry. So anyway, that'll be fun. Someday I'll get that done up into something. Till then, I'll just do this.
Something I'll just hug it and squeeze it.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah. So from there we went to Coburg to a store called Yarnet, and it's 513 Division Street, Unit 3B, Coburg, Ontario. The store, I don't think has been open all that long. Is that correct?
I don't think so either, because she had said when she opened it, and it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like a year maybe.
Yeah, beautiful store.
Loved this store.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in that area and you're looking for yarn, you're looking for a project, patterns, lovely store.
Helpful.
Friendly. And it was well lit, and it's in a little strip mall, so like the front of it's all glass.
Nice
well lit, I'll tell you, it is. It's a really, really nice store.
In the middle, she has a rug, a carpeted area with some chairs all around the carpet, and they meet there for knitting circles. But it just looked comfortable. Like it didn't look. It didn't. Like
it felt like you were knitting in your living room.
Yeah.
A really light, well lit, comfortable chairs. It was like you were knitting in your living room, honestly, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I think she has a little bit of everything as far as product goes.
She's got some nice yarn.
Yeah, if you ever, I mean, all of these, if you're in the area, I mean, why wouldn't you stop by if you're a knitter, right?
Right.
But that's definitely a beautiful store.
That one stood out to us.
Yeah. And then also in Coburg, there's another store, and I think it's, forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, Artisanthropy, ARTISANTHROPY, and it's at 79 King Street West, Unit C, Coburg, Ontario.
It's a nice store too. A little different.
A little different than the other one, which is, they complement each other.
They do.
And
it's a nice store too. It's got some nice yarn in it too.
It had like tatting supplies in that store as well. I'm trying to remember what else was in it.
There were some finished works of art, fibery art things. It's a nice store too. Is it Likey needle sets?
Oh yeah, the wooden, Likey
needle sets. They had those. They had some really nice stuff in that store too.
From there we went to Port Hope to the Black Lamb. Now this was we didn't know, right? It was in a building behind a person's residence, and
this was the card for the Black Lamb.
Yeah, and we met Lori. I think it was Lori. I take it that it was Lori we met.
I think so too.
What a wonderful woman.
She was fun, wasn't she?
And like we were just on a road trip, just knitters looking at yarn stuff, and and like she took us in the back of her shop and showed us. She has this huge machine where I'm gonna butcher this. If Lori, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna describe this properly, but she took fleece, right? Yeah, and put it through this carding machine. But like the machine was huge, and she showed us bits of fleece, like how it sometimes it's stringy, and then fleece that she had processed and it was just all fluffy and beautiful. And she dyes her fleece, and I think she dyes yarn as well. She sends her fleece away to be spun, I think, and then
she cards it and then sends the carded fleeces.
Brings it back, and then she dyes it, right, as yarn. Beautiful stuff.
Really
beautiful stuff. Yeah, and I know she does festivals as well.
Yeah.
So if you ever check out the vendors list,
I think she's coming to Picton.
Okay, it's the Black Lamb, right?
Black Lamb.
The Black Lamb.
She's coming to Picton.
I would certainly give her a check out. She has some.
If you're a spinner, she's got some really nice rovings and fiber. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, like Diane and I don't spin, so we probably aren't even appreciating it to the fullest, because if you're a spinner, you're probably gonna be over the moon with her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, she was helpful and she's friendly. We appreciated it. Bowmanville, Soper Creek Yarn, Soper Creek Yarn, 80 King Street West, Bowmanville, Ontario. And this was just I don't mean this in a bad way. It's just a good old fashioned yarn shop.
Oh yeah. And lots of yarn in it.
And she'd been there for years, and she had all the brick and mortar kind of thing you would think of in a yarn shop.
Yes, she did.
She actually had 2 store sections. There was a wall opening between the 2.
Archway between the
two. And they were full.
Yeah, they were.
Beautiful.
She had some kits that were nicely done up, and
samples everywhere. Beautiful bags. Somebody makes her bags. She also had like unique like little greeting cards that were funny, and socks made, like socks that had like sayings on them and stuff. Processed socks, like not hand-knit socks so much. There was a little bit of fleece, not a lot, like a little bit if you were a needle felter. Not, I don't think so much as a spinner, but like little gobs rather than like big rovings.
And she's a dairy farmer's wife.
Yeah, Diane and her had I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. I should have written it down, because you know me.
I don't remember it either, but I remember she's a dairy farmer's wife, because we stood and talked a long time about farming and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that's in Bowmanville. If you ever get the chance, like we say, stop in there. Now next we hit Oshawa, and there were 2 in Oshawa, but by this time we were getting down to they're going to be closed by the time we got there, and so we picked one that was sort of more on our path. And so we went to Wool on William, and it is 5 William Street West, and this store, the whole one wall is all like an old, in my mind, it's like what you would see an old-fashioned library, and it had the ladder that went up that was on the track, and the ladder moved up and down the wall, and then all this wool was in all these cubbies, all right to the ceiling. Right, it was beautiful. I would say, is a patents distributor or a dealer or whatever.
Yeah, she carries a lot of patents.
A lot of patents.
A lot of acrylic yarn.
So I would suspect that the Wool Queen, which is the one we didn't get to, she carries the other stuff.
Probably not.
Or he. They probably. That store, like we found in Coburg, they probably complement each other, eh? So I would think the Wool Queen was on Simcoe Street, so that's, like I say, the one we didn't get to. We left there, and we hit Whitby. We hit the Knittery. Did we hit the Knittery? I don't remember what it looked like.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Knittery.
It was the very friendly girl, and we parked in the back parking lot, and we went in through the back door.
Yes. That store is also owned by the same person that owns the Profi or
Yeah,
whatever that I
the
can't
name
say.
that we can't say.
The Artisanthropy, I think is what it is. Artisanthropy on in Coburg. But the person had just acquired the Whitby store. She hasn't had it. She said she, didn't she?
Yes.
She hasn't had it too long. So it's a work in progress for her right now.
But it's got some nice yarn in it too.
They all do, yeah.
Like, don't be.
And seems to me she has quite a bit of cross stitch stuff in the back corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those stores when you walk in, you kind of look around and you think, But if you really dig in that store and really take a good look, she's got some nice stuff in that store.
And you know the other thing is too, because the way the parking was, we couldn't park on the street, so we went around and there was parking in the back and we came in the back door.
Yeah.
Which makes a difference, I think. Like if we had have came in the front door, we would have had a different presentation. Not that there was anything wrong with it, but like the girl said, it's a work in progress.
She's only had it like
not very long.
No, not very long at all. Like a month or two.
Yeah.
So they're still and they're ordering new stuff in all the time.
She said every day
there is some nice yarn in that store. Like you really gotta sink your teeth into it and look through, and there's some nice stuff in there.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we hit Creative Yarns in Scarborough, and they were a vendor at the Knitters Frolic. So the lovely lady that was in there, she kept apologizing, saying all the new stuff has gone into the Frolic, and all the store samples are gone into the Frolic. But I'll tell you, there was still a lot of yarn there.
There was.
Yeah. And I bought something at that store because,
like, if she hadn't told us that there were vendors at Frolic, and you know that a lot of the new stuff was packed and gone, I wouldn't have known it. Like that store still wasn't empty by any means.
No, it was a great store. So I bought this. Now I've got it taken apart because I've been working on it. I bought it at this store. So you should have. Sorry, bad podcaster, should have been ready. Anyway, it came like this.
Yes.
Little box, and it's wool. It's by Wool and the Gang, and it's I don't know how to say that name, but it's this Regia Schumer or whatever you understand. So what happens is she gives you directions.
You're losing your stuff here, kid.
You got it?
Yeah.
Hang on to that. So she gives you these directions and she tells you what size needles to use. And the yarn, it starts with a yellow piece of yarn. Here it is, the yellow piece of yarn, and it is attached to. No, there's another piece of paper. It's attached on this little piece of paper, and it's tucked in this corner. Right here when you open the package, like that. And this little word here says easy start. So it tells you in your directions to start with this piece of yarn. You take it, it says pull it out until you get to the change of color. So I pulled all the yellow out, and then it turned blue. And then it tells you what to do, how to cast on, and it tells you what size needles to use, what your gauge should be, and if everything's working well while you knit, I'm going to get leopard spots. The yarn's going to knit into spots.
So if your gauge is off, that's not going to happen.
No, if your gauge is off, you don't get spots. So, I've torn this out a couple times. I switched needles just to see what was going on, and I finally come to the realization that I think this is close enough. Like, so these stripes here, they're literally one row. So she tells you if you should be starting your row with the blue, and by the time you get around, you should be at the end of your blue, if your gauge is right. So there's little indicators on how you're doing, and I was close. And then when I looked at the picture, see, they're not, I don't know if you can tell, but they're not perfect circles.
No, they're not.
They're not. So then I got thinking, okay, Edith, just chill. Like, you're probably close enough. They're not perfect circles. So I think there's still going to be spots. There's still clear pink or lighter pink around the darker color, so I just decided to go for it.
And you're using Flexi Flips.
And I'm using Flexi Flips. I got some Flexi Flips in Belleville at the Grey Heron, and I hadn't used them before, so I was wondering whether, I thought my gauge was a little tight, and I was wondering whether it was because I was using these new needles, and I was a little bit like, ooh, trying this out, and that's why I stopped and started a few times. I did try other needles to see if it made any difference, and it really didn't. So I like the Flexi Flips a lot, because, I'm sorry, that's my stomach.
Maybe I didn't hear it.
Maybe not. I heard a growl.
Should have had some toast.
Yeah. I like them a lot because I knit with DPNs, and so it's one less time than I'm flipping a needle. Yeah, I really like them.
I do too.
Yeah, I would buy them again. I will continue to use those, the Addie's Flexi Flips, and so that's what I bought at the Creative Yarns, because I brought the needles and I didn't have anything to knit on that night, and I knew that Diane had used the Flexi Flips, so I thought if I got them going while I had her with me, if I had any questions, I'd have help. So I did buy that there. Yeah. And then that was it. We worked our way through traffic. Diane did a great job driving through
There was only one intersection, and we sat way back, and we were turning left, so of course you had the light, and we had enough time to count how many cars it took that you had the turn, and it was 4. 4. So when we got up there, of course, guess what number we were? 4. So I'll tell you, my license plate kissed that guy's bumper, and we made the corner, and the rest of the way was good, wasn't it?
Oh, I mean, even that wasn't bad. It was
wasn't bad.
It was congested. It was just a lot of traffic, and the light didn't stay. The turning lane didn't stay.
Yeah, what's with that?
And it was what? By that time, it was what?
6 o'clock, 6:30.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto on a Friday night, we did well.
Well, I'm thinking that they could have that little green arrow a little longer. 4 cars, like honest to God, they were backing me up over the hill from us, like it was like
Anyway, so that was our roadie, and I really enjoyed it. And
then we went to your son's. We had a hot date with a blonde. He's so much fun.
Oh,
he's cute. So he was good to hang around with the old dolls.
He was very good to hang around with us, but we feed him, right? That's the deal.
So we went out.
We feed him.
They had beer. We had
I had beer. I had fish and chips, and it comes with beer.
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
What you say?
It says right on the menu.
But why'd you say that in the morning? I know where I'm going for supper. I'm going to get the fish and chips and beer.
It was the afternoon. We were sitting in traffic. We were kind of trafficky. I just looked over, and there was a fish and chip store, and I thought, oh, fish and chips. I'm gonna have fish and chips for supper. I'm gonna get the one with the beer. I did. It was good. It's Gabby's. That's the restaurant. There's a little pubby thing near Ben's house.
Yeah, so we parked the car and put the walking shoes on and walked over and checked out some storefronts.
And you had fish and chips as well, but you didn't get the beer. Did you have fish and chips? I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't even remember either.
I think you did.
I think I did, but I didn't have the beer.
You're a Diet Coke drinker.
Yeah, I don't drink beer. Not too much. But
and then Saturday morning, we got an Uber.
Yeah.
And they always tease me because I chat to the drivers. I just do. People are interesting, right? And this one, he talked my ear right off. I didn't get a chance to
I think she was
nothing.
disappointed. She got the questions on. You get a chance to talk. He did all the talking.
No, I wasn't disappointed. I was just, for the record, because they teased me, right? For the record, it wasn't me this time. It was him.
Last year it was you.
Last year it was me. He was interesting. Anyway.
Yeah, I bought winter boots at Walmart.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He was a very nice guy. This guy was nice too.
This guy was nice too.
But
and I was glad because he was talking, but where I was sitting, I could see his eyes in the rear view mirror, and like he wasn't. Sometimes people talk to you and they look up in the mirror and they drive, and they look up in the mirror. He didn't do that. He watched the road. So I thought, well, he's safe. He's paying attention. He's just talking.
I just think it just get me there.
Well, in truth be known, he said that he'd slept from 2 to 10 the day before, and that he was just driving until he
dropped,
No.
smashed the car up.
I think they get shut down after so many
He
hours.
said the app would tell him when he's driven too long.
Yeah.
So he's just going to drive till the app
So-
told him to shut her down.
So I think he maybe was sipping Red Bull for breakfast. Anyway, he drove safely. He talked.
He
He's
talked.
a nice guy. And then it was raining. We got to the frolic. We had to stay on the side in the rain, which,
Good thing I had my curly hairdo on because
yeah.
the straightness would have been. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And the frolic was great.
lots of people,
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder,
Yep. What'd you buy?
boob to elbow.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I just
What
realized-
did I buy at the frolic? Yarn.
Mhm.
Last year when we went, there's a company in New Brunswick called Lucan and Lace. Last year we went to frolic. By the time, and they're in the very far room. It's kind of like 3 rooms, isn't it?
Mhm.
3 different areas. And last year, by the time we got to the far corner where their booth was, they were
Yeah.
pretty much sold out. And I didn't want to pay shipping. So
No.
anyway,
No.
first crack, I ran and went to their booth
Mhm.
because I had already picked these colors off the internet, and it was just a case of finding them.
Let me hold your basket, or there you go.
So
These
I
are gorgeous things.
ran, and this is what I picked out.
Isn't that pretty? Yeah.
So I'll read you the ladies' names.
Just-
Oh, this is rhubarb.
And how perfect.
These skeins, when I got them, were pretty much perfect, but I've had the labels off and skinned them, so I kind of tried to make them look half decent for podcasts. So they really don't put their yarn looking this messy, but I couldn't help myself. So that's rhubarb. This one is shrub.
Mhm.
Now that's pretty true to the color, isn't it?
Mhm.
That's shrub.
Okay.
And this one is called beetroot.
Oh. Now, do you have a project in mind for these?
Well, I bought a pattern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bought a pattern when we were at Yarn It. And it's on Ravelry, but it's this wrap.
And Yarn It carried. That's where we were on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's in Kensington Market. And
Not Yarn It's not Yarn It's a Clover.
Oh, you bought that at Yarn It. I'm sorry. I'm getting mixed up. I'm blaming drugs.
You could have said the cold meds.
Whatever. Same thing. They know.
So anyway, this pattern takes 4 colors. So,
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
but it's a rectangular shawl. So I had seen these online and I liked them, and I thought there's a couple of shawls that I want to knit, and I thought, oh, and then I was at the frolic and I went to Indigo Dragonfly, and all these are from Indigo Dragonfly. Don't tell me, you little. Okay.
Thought we had a snag.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been pretty because that kind of thing kind of upsets me. So anyway, I picked these out. So then I got home, and like I say, these are pretty shabby because I've opened them and closed them about 5 times. Then when I got home, I was thinking this. I was thinking go, make this right. I was thinking go like that.
For that shawl.
Yeah, because it calls for 3 speckles in the solid.
Okay.
Well, then my husband says to me, Diane, that's going to be pretty muted. And this one, when you look down in it, it's got some reds and some really neat colors in it. So he said he would dump the green and go with the red, because this one's got the red through it too.
Mm.
So he said this one makes it pop more.
More of a thing.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah.
once again, the yarn plan got a little bit switched around. But anyway, these 2 go well together. And I thought, you know what? I could dye a gray or a black to go with them, and that would be pretty too. So I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to do.
Great.
That pattern is yours. Yeah, so that's what I got at the frolic. I was a good girl this year.
You were.
Yeah, usually I'm really bad. So that's my frolic.
All your frolic purchases.
My frolic purchases.
Okay.
And I didn't tell you the names of those yarns, but that's okay.
The names of the other ones, okay. What have you got there? Caribou Ba. These are the dragonfly, right? Special edition, burnt in the oven.
Burnt in the oven.
It's pretty. And then this is Indigo Dragonfly, and it is special edition. Is it
It's cute. Quinnery
function? Excuse me. Good.
Like I said, they really didn't come looking this bad because I've ripped them apart a few times. Did we do this one?
No, we didn't do the other one. It's also Caribou Ba, and it is Dragonfly, and it is Porg Pox.
Yep.
P-O-R-G Pox.
So, there. A little bit different.
Gorgeous.
They're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
So next year up, what did you buy? Because I was a good girl.
I love sweet paprika.
Mm-hmm.
And
they buy solids.
Yeah, and so I got a set of minis because I got this when I got home. I bought this off Ravelry. I've had this on my mind for years, but I've never done it. And anyway, I'm gonna give it a shot. So I have to decide now whether to do this black or do it in the bear. There's pictures on Ravelry of what other people have done, and the black is quite stunning, but my colors are quite dark.
Oh, like
yeah, I'm thinking
like a cream.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I want to do with that. That's what I bought that for. And I stopped by Westlake, and I bought a little kit for it's Madder Root Natural Dyeing Kit, and it contains the stuff to do some natural dyeing with plants.
We've met that girl before.
Yeah.
She recognizes, so it's kind of cool.
Yes. She. What was her name? Oh, shoot, I just saw it the other day. Carrie. Anyway, it's Westlake Knits, and they are online. Whoops, westlakeknits.ca. So I bought that. I'm excited to play with that. Excuse me, I'm dropping things.
It's me that's the dropsy one.
And I think that's it. That's all. Is that all I bought? Did I buy anything else?
That's something that had beads in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I did. I bought this. I like kits, and I like beads. You all know that. So River of Yarn had this kit, and so I bought it. And it's got pearls right in the yarn, and it's flax, not hemp, flax. So it's a different material than I'm used to using, and yeah, so I'm gonna knit a little shawl there with that. This wrap, and the beads are in the meshy part. So I'll let you know how it goes. Might be a while before I get to it, but I will let you know how it goes. I'm a sucker for a kit, and I'm an even bigger sucker for beads. Right? So yeah, I think that's it then, right, Diane?
I don't know.
I think so. You don't remember anything else, right?
Yeah. I don't remember anything else. No.
So yeah, the frolic was fun. There was these people were giving out little freebies, cotton, Eco Fusion, you know, little fun things. And we picked up lots of flyers and papers. And so what have you got there?
I have Black Sheep Festival of Contemporary Textile Art in Elora, Ontario, July 7th, 2018 at the Elora Center for the Arts. And you can find, they have a website, www.blacksheepfestival.ca. And then I picked up from the Kitchener-Waterloo Knitters Fair, presented by Kitchener-Waterloo Knitters Fair. And it's festival, and it is Saturday, September the 8th, 2018, 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Kitchener's Fair. Kitchener's Knitters Fair.
It's the Knitters Fair.
I got two of these, so one of them must have been yours.
Or maybe.
For you, I picked up for you. But
probably.
It's the 10th Annual Woodstock Fleece Festival. And it's Saturday, October the 13th, from 9 to 5. workshops and demos. Admission is $8, and they're online at www.fleecefestival.com.
And it's at the Woodstock Fairgrounds.
There's a picture of the yarn at the knitting service.
Yeah, show it.
So this is a card from Yarn It, but see, there's what we're talking about, the chairs and the inviting spot to knit around, and there's an idea of a little bit of yarn they have. One of the walls of yarn. Anyway.
Then we on Sunday we went to Kensington Market to Yarns Untangled, and
we had brunch
across the street, and this yarn store has a little patio out front. It's got some nice yarns in it too. Very friendly. The girls were very friendly.
It's a nice yarn shop.
It's a very nice yarn shop. So.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Bright and sunny and cozy and yeah. And so I bought some stuff there. I bought more of the yarn that Diane bought at the festival. I got
Lichen and
Lichen and Lace. I got these two at the.
Oh, they're pretty.
Yeah.
I seen this one online.
Did you?
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. Wildflowers, and this one is called Clover. Wildflowers and Clover. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but there are a lot of shawls, 2-colored shawls. Anyway, I'll let you know once again what becomes of it, but I just thought they were so pretty. And to be honest, at the Frolic, their booth was so busy that I really didn't get in there.
I ran there first,
Yeah, you were there. I went to the Westlake spot first. So by the time I got over to where Diane was, and it was just a bit much for me.
Some of the booths were a bit much for me too. Like some of them I didn't even go in because there was just too many people in them, and I thought, you know what, I'm not big on. I'm just not big on that big of a crowd. I don't like to be squeezed in. Yeah. I can only take it for so long, and it's like, gotta go. Just give me some space here. I gotta catch my breath.
Yeah. So anyways, at the yarn store, I could take my time and I could really appreciate what I was looking at and enjoy the colors.
That's
Sorry,
the
that's
phone.
my phone. There's something's going on there. So, anyway, so I bought these on Sunday morning.
Do you want to go and look at that phone in case it's
kids?
Yeah, one in town and.
Oh yeah, there's one. Excuse me. There's Phoebe. Yeah, you got something really
cute there. The week before, or a couple weeks before we had gone on the road trip, I was looking online and I found a couple of books that I wanted, and I spoke earlier on another podcast about the sweater class I'd taken and knitting a sweater that fits. So I ordered this book by Sally Melville, and it gives you instructions on how to measure yourself to knit garments, sweaters, that kind of thing that fit. And there's some nice patterns in here, and like it touches on, the length. I don't know if you can see it, the length of your garments, sweaters. If you're wearing it with a skirt or slacks or that kind of thing. And there's some nice patterns, like that's a cute little pattern right there. And nice sweater. And it talks about, hemlines of sweaters, with a straight or like I guess it's called shark's tooth, and so it's a nice book, and talks a bit about shaping and that kind of thing. And then Knit Traders in Kingston has started carrying a line of Rowan yarns. And so anyway, this gentleman is a designer and he works for Rowan. So anyway, this is a pattern book. It's got some nice patterns in it. And anyway, I ordered it from Amazon.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got it's got different weights of yarn, of Rowan yarn. It's got some nice shells. That wrap is just stunning. So anyway,
it's a beautiful book, regardless. The photography is really nice. Look at the cables. Holy crow.
Yeah. So anyway, I bought this book because I thought, there might be something in here that I would like to knit, and I know exactly where to get the yarn.
Knit Traders,
Knit Traders in Kingston, yay! On Gardener's Road.
Talking about nice yarn shops.
Yes.
Yes.
And the Sister Store yarn shop number 2 is scheduled to open on Tuesday at 208 Princess Street. So, yeah, Sister Store.
Excited to check that one out.
Oh, we'll be there.
Oh yeah. I betcha. Yeah.
So anyway.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. You
so,
picked up a couple of those too.
Yeah, these were Nitty.com had a basket of these at the Frolic, and it's just a little tag to put on your knitting bag. It says, if you found this, it means I've lost it. My contact info is on the back. Would you please contact me? Thank you. And then on the back you can write your this crafty bag belongs to, and they'll give you back. Hopefully you get your knitting back.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody's fine. That was just my son ran a half marathon this morning. Yay. And he's in. So
good.
And I asked him what his time was, but he hasn't answered me. And he.
Why are we going wonky?
I don't know.
We're going.
He just said his feet are sore. Other than that, he's good. So way to go, Ben.
Way to go. Hats off to you, buddy. I'm not a runner. Go for comfort, not speed. So knitting, on to knitting. Now that we've talked for 46 minutes on.
This is what we get for.
Yeah, really. So what do you have for knitting?
I'm knitting Mystery Knit Along.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of knitting, so have at her.
Okay, I'll try to talk fast. This is a Mystery Knit Along, and I think it's a hoop. It comes across like a book, this is the case file. It talks about
what's it called?
It's addition by subtraction, and it's you download Clue. You download. I put it in this book, but it's like a story. So you read the story. And, it was a dark and stormy knit. I sat in my office trying to battle my way through a brochet hat. The brochet was winning. It was Friday the 13th, and I felt like I walked under every ladder in the city. Something had to give. I needed a case, and I needed it badly. It's like that,
The camera's flashing. Yeah, so I don't know what's happening, but you're on strobe lights.
So anyway, and then at the end of that, there's a chapter. At the end of the chapter, there are knitting instructions. And then, and that's free. And then, a week later, I think I got chapter 2, and then you read the story, and then you knit what it tells you to knit. And this is going to go on for a few weeks. There's somebody coming to the steps.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to shut you off for a minute.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, we're back.
Mom was at the door. And so this is my mystery shawl.
Are you supposed to show that, or is it a spoiler?
Well, I'm a clue behind. So, okay, if by some weird chance anybody out there is doing the addition by subtraction.
62 subscribers.
Yeah, addition by subtraction, Mystery Knit Along, I'm going to show it. So close your eyes if you don't want to know what clue 1 looks like. So this is clue 1 so far. And so the one side has an I-cord edging, and the other side is going on an angle.
So is it going to be an asymmetrical triangle?
I don't know. It's a mystery. So I just do what it tells me, and with the color it tells you to do it with, and you find out what's going to happen.
And then the holy Toledo Molito.
I know, isn't that just look like a hot mess? But anyway, so it's 4 colors. This one I dyed. It doesn't have a name. This is step 1 blue. This is Little Bits of Truth, I think.
It's yours?
Yeah, yeah. And then this is Chick Flick. I got an onion bag thing on it, so because they get a little messy.
She has a yarn condom on it.
No, Chick Flick.
Yeah.
Little Bits of Truth. Step 1 blue, and not named. I just dyed it. I needed to contrast that one. So.
Robin's egg.
Yeah, maybe egg. So there it is. That's the Mystery Knit Along. That's what I'm knitting.
There's a lot of color changes in that puppy.
Yeah, and it's all so far. It's all garter stitch. Anyway.
The Knocking yourself out with a garden.
Yeah.
In the dollar store bag.
In my dollar store bag. I like this bag. It makes me happy. I like colors and I like those chicks. So,
The dollar store chicks.
yeah. And I just turn it down so that the zipper doesn't snag on the yarn.
Yeah.
And so I'm knitting on that and the socks, and I still have my sweater, but I haven't done anything with that. Oh, and I finished a thing. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
This is that.
Because my knitting is just grown a little bit, but it hasn't changed.
Okay, this is that shawl that I showed you before. I showed everybody in the last podcast that I was knitting for somebody else, and it's done. So there's what it looks
Is
like.
it blocked?
Pardon?
Did you block it?
Yeah, I did. I blocked it.
Groovy, baby.
So
Look at these whole baubles.
yeah, I'll tell you, those took a while.
Yeah, I would be thinking so.
They were
It's a crescent shaped shawl.
yeah, they were a labor of love, let me tell you. Yeah, because they like you cast on stitches and then you knit out. If you can see them, you knit out to the end and then you knit back and forth to make the density on the end, and then you have to cast off back in, and then you knit to the next one. You do it again. So I mean, each one is probably, I don't know if it would be 10 rows, but it's fiddly, you know, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, I really like them when they're done. I never really like them when I'm just about halfway. Anyway, that's it. And it's called the, what is it called? It's not on here. Let's see. I talked about it last time.
Might be in the other pattern I gave you. I had the original.
I'm sorry, yeah, there's the original. I had a hard time finding the name of it the last time, and I found it online. It's if you go into our Ravelry group, it is favored. It's a favorite. It starts with the letter U, and it's really sorry. It's by Jessica Gore, and it's the Sweater Collective group. Sorry. Anyway, that's what you're looking for. That's that.
And it's in written instruction. It has a chart too.
Yeah, I just went. I don't use the charts. I go by the written instruction.
Me too.
So I can't tell you how I feel about the chart, but the written instruction
use it.
obviously worked just fine. So what do you said yours hasn't changed? You're working.
Well, I've still got the same stuff on the knees, just changed a little bit. But
this is a knit for somebody else. Yeah. Can I help or hold anything?
yeah, I just watched my dental floss.
Yikes.
I'm at the decrease.
Ooh,
It's kind of
it's
hold on.
growing. I think it's grown since we saw
Okay,
it last.
we gotta hold out our sides because one side's got the decreases and
Oh.
you've got it
Oh, it's going on an angle
going on an angle. So this is supposed to be straight. It's got an I-cord edging on it.
as well, eh?
Yeah, so it starts way down there
That's beautiful.
and then it
I love
comes
this
up
color. It's just so soft.
and then it comes up.
Antique-ish. I think it's changed quite a bit since we saw it quite a bit longer.
Yeah,
Wow,
I had it the
it's
other night. I
beautiful.
put my
Excuse me.
this is dental floss. It's my lifeline because if I make a mistake, I don't want to rip this all out again. Because God knows I've ripped this thing out a few times and went back at it. So
And so your edge is straight and this edge is going in.
yep, this is straight. This is going in like this
Neat.
till I get right down to about 5 stitches.
Oh, really? It's going to go right to a point. Oh.
So you instead of knitting from the point to the wide end,
Right. You're
you
knitting.
knit from the wide end to the point.
Oh,
so
I
you're
see.
decreasing all the time, all the way up.
So will it go to a point on this end because of that? Or will
Nope,
it
it's
just
gonna
stay
sit.
straight?
It's gonna the bottom edge, let's say, straight, and then this is coming sloping like that
To a point.
to a point. You know how you
Yeah.
typically would knit a asymmetrical triangle.
Yeah.
How you would start at the point and then you increase on one side to make it go. Well, this is you start at your
Your
on your
straight edge.
yeah, and then you cast off your straight edge when you get like a whole pile of stitches. Well, this is the other way. You cast on all these stitches and then you decrease instead of increase, and it goes right down to a point.
It's pretty.
Yeah, it's like it's knit backwards. So I've been concentrating on that because it's for somebody else and I just want to get it done. I have my knit night socks that I really haven't done anything with. And I still have my sweater, and I've been poking away at the sleeves, but I magic looped my sleeves.
You did.
Yeah, I did,
Mm-hmm.
because I just want them the same.
Good idea.
So the sweater kind of looks funny because it's all like.
Oh, you don't want to. Yeah.
Well, I don't care if I show. I don't even know what kind of shape it's in because I really haven't had this sucker out in a while. But okay, the balls are gonna fly. Because honest to God, it's on 3 skeins of balls of yarn all at once. Okay. Sorry for the crinkling. The microphone's down there. Okay. All right, ready? There's the magic loop sleeves. See?
Oh, isn't that fun? All right, and then that's your neck in there. Or no, it's the body.
The bottom.
It's upside down.
Yeah. So there's the front.
Right.
That's the front.
And
then my sleeves on magic loop.
Right, and this is the body.
And that's the body. And it's on an I-cord too.
It's on an I-cord too. Yeah, you can feel it in there.
Yeah, it's on I-cord too. Here's the... Yes. I just capped it. So I have all these freaking cords.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, so for anybody that doesn't know, these knitting needles, you can twist the ends off.
They're interchangeable.
They're interchangeable. They call them, and they're on a cord. And so then when you change, they come apart here. So when you twist that off, they come with these caps.
Yeah.
That
right.
Diane just mentioned, and you can twist the cap on, and it just makes a stopper, so that you can keep your stitches on these cords.
See.
And use your needles for another project if you want, or like this one, you're moving it all around your project. You can buy the parts separately, or they come in kits, and you put stoppers on your cords, and away you go.
And this
is
like an extender,
a connector,
and you can connect 2 of these I-cords with this. You just twist it in here and here. So this is what makes you can make 2 cords to make it longer. So that's what I did. I got connectors, and I just put 2 cords together. And I put my sleeves on here, and I'm just knitting my sleeves magic loops, so they'll be the same length, and the decreases are on the same rows.
It's just otherwise.
You gotta knit each sleeve.
You do them separately, and you gotta mark down when you made an adjustment to the sleeve, so that you do the other one the same. This way, you don't have to do note taking, right?
I just knit the friggin' sleeves by the seat of my pants. Every once in a while, I just stick an arm in the suckers and make sure.
But if you do that, and you're not following a pattern per se, then you don't know. You have to try and repeat it on the next sleeve, where this way,
I'm just not that organized. So I stuck them all together, and how they turn out is how they turn out there.
So, I think long-winded us, we're done.
Oh God, this is what we get.
So what's coming up? We're going to be in Picton on May the 26th at the Fibre Festival over there. So if you want to stop by, we'd love to. Oh, we haven't said, we saw so many great people.
We did.
We saw Kathy.
Kathy.
We met a new Kathy.
Yeah. And Kathy know each other.
Yeah, and we met a lady that you met her. I met her at the Frolic. She knit a sweater out of our yarn.
Oh.
I forget
Edna.
her name. Edna. Yeah.
I had met her. She came into Knit Traders the day when I was working, and she had told me, she recognized me, told me she knit the sweater, so she showed me a sweater. And I told her to put it on a Ravelry group, and then she's from like north of Toronto or something, and she was in Kingston for work, so she said she was going to the Frolic, and I said, oh, we're going to the Frolic too. So she said, if you see me, say hi.
Yeah, we did.
So we did.
Yeah.
So I introduced her to Edith, and
yeah, it's a lovely
very nice lady.
I want to give a shout out to Corey and Gail. They have started a Facebook live video on Wednesdays, and you have to look it up. It's My Sister's Shop, and they do these live videos, but it's all like one making products from natural stuff, like face scrub. One day they made a face scrub. They showed you how to do it, and using essential oils for fragrance and things like that. And they told you what was in it. They gave you the recipe, and you could make it for yourself. But it's just good for your skin. But there's no chemicals, and there's no additives. If you're sensitive or you just want to, do something nice for yourself. Another day, it was Corey did a video on an infuser she'd gotten and how it worked, and they did another one on a foot scrub. So and we had the opportunity. We went out for lunch with some people we worked with years ago, Harrowsmith Magazine, and we had lunch at the Bookstore Cafe in Camden East. Highly recommend it. And Corey and Gail's sister owns it. And Gail had used her recipe to make the dessert. And I see that they're going to, I asked for the recipe. I said, this is really good. I love the recipe. Well, Corey and Gail are going to make that one of their episodes.
Oh.
Yeah, they said, Edith asked for the recipe, so we're going to make her work for it. She's got to watch our video to get the recipe. So
Okay.
it was a cheesecake
Oh,
recipe,
was
but
good.
it was, I believe it's gluten free. Is that right?
I think so.
And anyway, it was delicious.
It's delicious.
So Corey and Gail, and it's My Sister's Shop on Facebook, and it's full of great information and just positivity. So
Yeah.
I want to shout out to them. Yeah, so I'm sure we forgot a bunch of people.
I
forgot to
met
say
Margaret
hi.
and Sheila from Three Sisters Knits podcast. Lovely ladies. They were very nice, and had a nice chat with them. And yeah, so we have
they're
a lot of
knitters
fun.
from Ontario.
Yep.
If you get a chance, it's Three Sisters Knit
Three Sisters
on
Knits.
YouTube. It's a good podcast.
Yeah.
And
Lots of nice projects. And
I think they have an Etsy shop. You can buy their knitted projects. So
good.
okay, well,
We've got lots of new stuff in the shop, but as stuff goes down, we'll let you know. Hopefully, it won't be as long as once we get.
We'd like to figure out how to do a split screen podcast once in a while, because Diane and I do live like a half an hour from each other, and sometimes it's just hard to get together. And so we thought if we could do a split screen, that if we could throw that in every once in a while, we'll still get together once in a while. But we're having trouble figuring it out.
I have to get a program that will
If anybody has any
record
hints,
a Skype phone call.
yeah, if you've got any of you know how to do it, we'd love to hear from you with advice or tips.
Put in the comments
We
below.
just can't seem to get it to work. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're trying, and then hopefully that will increase frequency. That's my hope.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Anyway, so
Good to see you. Stop by again.
yeah.
Yeah.
So take care, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye.